All right, let's jump right into a real head-scratcher. Gold prices, they're going absolutely nuclear, hitting these incredible new highs. But the weird part is, the reasons why, well, they're not what you think at all. We're going to unpack what's really driving this.
So first up, let's just get the big number out of the way. We're talking about international gold prices blowing past $4,500 per troy ounce. And I mean, that's not just a little bump. That is a new all-time record. Wow.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Look at this comparison. The last time we saw a major U.S. government shutdown end, which was back in 2011, what happened to gold? It didn't just dip, it completely flash crashed.
And this time, the complete opposite. They're skyrocketing. So, what gives? Why is this time so incredibly different? That is the big mystery we're digging into today.
Right, so we're looking at this puzzling gold rush. And, it's not just gold either. Silver has also blasted past that $70 mark. But the thing is, when you start looking for the usual reasons, they just don't fit. And this chart, it really just hammers home how weird things are right now. I mean, look at these year-to-date returns. You've got silver and gold, your classic safe bets, just exploding upwards. But at the same time, so are stocks, which are supposed to be your risky play. This just isn't how it's supposed to work, right? They're not supposed to go up together like this.
All right, so let's do a little detective work. We're going to debunk the old rules. Let's line up the usual suspects for why gold prices rally and see why, one by one, they just don't hold water this time.
Okay, suspect number one, and it's the big one you always hear. Gold is a hedge against war and geopolitical risk. The idea is simple, right? When things get scary in the world, people run to gold for safety.
Yeah, makes sense. Except the numbers tell a totally different story. Look at this. Historically, yes, there was a super strong connection between global chaos and gold prices. But right now, that link has gotten incredibly weak. So note, that can't be the main reason.
All right, on to the next one. Maybe it's about protecting against rising inflation. This is the other classic argument, right? Your money is losing value, so you buy gold, the ultimate store of value, to protect yourself. But that theory falls flat on its face too. Global inflation has actually been pretty stable. And get this, since last September, the whole relationship has flipped upside down. It's turned negative. So as inflation worries have gone down, gold has kept going up. It makes no sense by the old rules.
And what about that whole government shutdown idea we started with? People buying gold because they're worried about government instability. Well, let's look back at that 2011 flash crash. After that whole shutdown crisis was over, gold didn't stay high. It tanked. Prices basically got cut in half over the next few years. So that theory's out the window too.
Okay, so if all the old rules are broken, what on earth is actually happening? What is the real reason behind this? Well, it looks like we're seeing a huge fundamental shift in the market.
And that brings us to this idea, de-fiatization. It's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept is super important. De-fiatization trading is basically a structural shift that happens when people start losing fundamental confidence in government-backed money, currencies like the dollar. This isn't just about a short-term crisis. It's a deep loss of faith in the money itself.
So what's the root cause of this? It really boils down to this. The idea that central banks, especially the U.S. Federal Reserve, aren't as independent as they used to be. The minute the market starts to think that political pressure is messing with monetary policy, that's when trust in the long-term value of the currency just starts to, evaporate.
And when politics starts driving markets like this, everything gets turned upside down. This loss of trust in the very institutions that are supposed to manage our money, it creates a totally bizarre new world for anyone trying to invest. I mean, think about it. When you have major political figures publicly questioning a central bank's neutrality, pressuring them to act a certain way, it makes investors nervous. They start thinking, maybe I shouldn't keep all my eggs in the US dollar basket. They start looking for an exit.
And that brings us right back to the puzzle we started with. This is the result. If people don't trust cash, that money has to go somewhere. So what happens? It flows into the safest asset, which is gold, and it flows into the riskiest assets like stocks. And boom, that's why both are rising together.
So we're in this new era of investing, and this massive shift away from trusting regular currency isn't just changing why people are buying gold. It's also completely changing how they're doing it.
What we're seeing is a huge move from what you might call the European style of gold banking, actually buying and holding physical gold bars. Instead, people are flocking to the American style, investing in financial products, especially ETFs, that are just linked to the price of gold. It's way easier, way faster.
But here's the catch. There's a hidden price to all of this. This new, super easy way to trade gold is bringing a ton of new, everyday investors into what is still a really complex market. And that comes with some serious risks.
Some experts are even calling it a potential Indiana Jones crisis. It's a great name for it, actually. It's this idea that you have a stampede of retail investors, kind of like Indiana Jones running from the boulder, chasing the hype. But they're running into a market they don't fully understand. And if that market suddenly turns, a lot of people could get crushed.
And the dark side of this gold rush goes way beyond just financial risk. There's a huge human cost. This insane demand for gold is fueling what's known as blood gold. We're talking about human rights abuses, conflicts being funded, and just terrible environmental damage from mining in parts of Africa and South America. It's a heavy price.
So, that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. In a world that seems to be losing faith in money itself, what is the true price of gold? Not just the number on the screen, but the total cost of this whole phenomenon.